lock it in, yeah. It's the Joe Lockett Show, lock it in, yeah. It's the Joe Lockett Show, lock it in. Are you ready to be entertained, educated? A little stimulation for your brain, lock it in. Are you ready to learn? Are you ready to laugh? Are you ready to love? Then lock it in, yeah. It's the Joe Lockett Show, lock it in, yeah. It's the Joe Lockett Show, lock it in, lock it in. It's the Joe Lockett Show.
Hey everybody, it's Thursday right here on the LIM, so you know what that means. It's the Thursday mix. That's right. This is Mojo, your favorite Dixie from Classic Cocktails 205. So be sure that if you're looking for someone to host your next holiday or social gathering, you need to hit up ClassicCocktails205.org for more information. Hey, I got a great show in tow for you guys today. I got a couple special guests coming through, but before you guys get to see them, guess who else I got in the studio with me? Can you guess? Can you guess? I'm gonna guess for you. I got the one and only Mr. Joe Lockett in the building.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, I figured they may remember you a little bit.
I appreciate you letting me sit in.
I'm excited to have you, Joe. Thanks for being here.
Well, thanks for having me.
That's right. Today, like I said, we have a great topic. I'm super excited about it. Y'all know that this month is all about mental health awareness, right? It seems like it's so blah of a topic, but when you really get down to the nitty gritty, it's something that we all need to discuss. So today we're going to do just that. We're going to discuss it. So we're going to talk about breaking some stigmas. Not just for mental health, but a lot of other things, right? I have some concerns for the men folk. Joe, you just so happen to be one of the men folk.
Well, I appreciate it.
So just to let you know,
I identify as man.
Right? You identify as a frying pan.
But I identify as a man.
As a man,
So,
okay.
yeah.
You know, some days you identify as a lion, as a warrior.
Well, I want to identify as a drink because I can't get the taste for it. But can you let me identify what's in the Thursday
I'm
mix?
glad you asked me that.
Yeah.
You guys may be wondering what's in the Thursday mix, and I'm glad you asked me that. Today's drink is called the Traveling Dandy.
The traveling.
Yeah. Now, I'll break that down a little bit because some of you guys may know that the Met Gala just happened, right? The theme of the Met Gala this year was dandyism. And I know this is like some foreign word for some people, but some of y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Think Dapper Dan.
Dapper Dan?
Dapper Dan.
Okay.
Nephew, you have to know who Dapper Dan is.
What is it?
Yeah. No, I definitely heard of Dapper Dan.
Yeah,
I definitely heard.
But we ain't talking about that. I don't know nothing about the pimping business. But apparently this is that.
I mean, he's
But-
huge.
The bottom line is that he has this style about himself, it's an expression. So dandyism really is it's an overall expression, and it's something that Black people actually use just throughout our time to just over express.
Mhm.
And it just means basically very elaborate, very, very open, very extra.
Okay.
Right?
That's what I'm saying because there's so many different flavors in this.
So in relation to some of y'all may have seen the Met Gala and seen some of those extra looks. Those looks were very, very extra. Understand that they were intentional, okay? So I know there was like a fashion police that was out there kind of janking on everybody. Some of it did look a little silly. Like,
We need to do the Thursday mix gala. Like we coming in all, you know what I'm saying? Coming in all built up.
I would love that. I'm just
And we do
saying,
the strut through the door. You know what I'm saying?
it looked really ridiculous, but you got to understand that it's art. Okay? It's art. So this drink is in fact a work of art. Okay?
I gotta ask you one question. What was up with your boy Andre 3000 PM?
Again, it's art.
Yeah, don't do three steps like that. He dropped the whole album off of that.
Because the truth is that Andre has always been very extra.
Uh-huh.
He's always given us more than what we asked for. And I mean, he's entitled to do it. So let that be right.
Y'all better not say that when I walk around with a drum set on my back. That's all I'm saying. Cause I'm gonna be, I beat to a beat my, I beat to my own beat, my own drum. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So y'all better not say that. When y'all see me on the south side going into doing we call it coffee conversation with a drum on my back, I don't want to hear nothing from nobody.
Well, hey, I'm gonna say a word. But with that being the case, dandyism is something that you need to know about. I don't, some may take it to the extreme, some are still doing it, but who knows? Who cares? Give your expression the best way you want to. So the drink today is called the Traveling Dandy, and it is made with tequila, a little bit of lime, a little bit of simple syrup, triple sec, a little bit of orange juice, just for color. So in case you ain't noticed or wonder, that's what it looks like. White taste.
Look good. Even though I don't be drinking the alcohol, it do be looking good.
Yes.
It do be looking good.
And you know what? I'm gonna be like you, nephew. We could start a no alcohol challenge. You just won't be.
I mean, it can't be none of the Thursdays. I mean, what?
There's a lot of things that we can mix up. So be on the lookout for the Thursday mix
Yeah, that sounds real exciting. Even coming from a non-drinker, that sounds really, really fun.
Well, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. I hope that you called the Met Gala. If you did, you can chime in the comments, tell us what you thought. Hey, if you may have thought that some of the looks were ridiculous, let us know which ones. I think Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats was the most ridiculous. Somebody said
I don't know what they had on.
Someone said they were wearing a compliment.
Look, I know one thing.
Yeah.
I know some folks that I know I liked. I know some folks I know I liked. And I liked them for the definite wrong reason.
Oh, Lord. You want to chime in a little bit?
I mean, the Sabrina Carpenter, even though folks was like, that was trash, I liked it. I liked it for me. I was like, all right.
What she have on?
I mean, she had on like some leotard type of thing with the yams. Look, all I know, I was espresso all over that ass. I was thinking espresso all through them pictures.
Okay, for the next hour. Can I say this? Who did it for me?
Who did it?
I'm an old head. So for me, it was down.
Oh yes.
With the long train and having people, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
The queen,
when
she walked in, damn everybody else.
Yes, I'm talking. She gave queen treatment. Hey guys, I got one of my special guests that showed up just now. They are just joining us in the studio. I'm gonna introduce them in just a second, but I'm super excited about the moment. But as Joe was saying, Diana Ross with the queen statement, baby, she did that, and I loved it.
She made a mile-long dress on, mile-long train. But it was a white with the silver.
It was everything. Give me a second. I'm gonna make sure that we get him a mic so that I can make sure I introduce him appropriately. Okay. Okay. So we're pulling him in right now. Guys, I want you guys to know that we have a very special guest. His name is Pimp the Artist. And he is a good friend of mine. He is very much an artist. He has a lot going on. I'm going to give him the floor and let him give you guys the full layout of everything he does. Pimp, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. A big shout out to everybody who's watching. Big shout out to, like you just said, one of the queens of Bama, Mo right here. So you can invite me first of all. My name is Thompson, also known as Pimp the Artist. I appreciate everybody who's watching right now. I'm just a full spectrum artist. I do everything from photography to spoken word to a little bit of what is it called, advocacy right now. It's present day and age. So I'm a full spectrum artist, just doing whatever I can to uplift my community. I appreciate you for inviting me here.
Absolutely. I was very excited to invite you here actually, because I get to see you in your element. You guys, a lot of y'all don't know, of course, the Classic Cocktails 205 brand, we're in a lot of outside areas. So we partner with a place called Greenhouse, and they are actually all about flourishing artists. And their organization is actually called The Flourish. So it's very therapeutic when I'm in that element and I get to see all of the artists and how they actually operate and the things that they do. We get to hear everything from producers doing music to actual rappers, actual songsters, actual poetry. Like it's a little bit of everything. And so I love that element. So I was very excited to invite him him here. So you're more than welcome. I'm glad you came. Yes. So one of the reasons why I want to bring you on so we can talk a little bit more about who you are, what you do, your brand overall, because I think that the city needs to know about these things. I mean, we always, you know, like I say always sometimes, but we are more than likely stereotyping when we see a person and we really have no idea the surface, like what lies beneath the surface. So that's some of the things that we're going to be talking about today. So our topic today is actually all about breaking the stigma. And when we talk about breaking the stigma, that is so multifaceted. We've got layers of stigma that Black community have to experience, right? And him and I are going to talk about, excuse me, one of the things that stand out the most right now, we have mental health, right? It's Mental Health Awareness Month. And that's something that I believe that is, we need to talk about it more often. It's something that we all are experiencing, but we're not talking about it. Sometimes we're covering it up. Sometimes we're hiding it. Sometimes we're self-soothing it, whatever it is, but it's something that we really need to address. So let's talk a little bit about that, Him. When we talk about the stigma of mental health in our community, where do you think this all started? Where did it come from?
You said something that was fine. I'm not gonna hold you. I think the biggest thing right now is a lot of people trauma took. You know what I mean? They took their traumas away. And they never express and they never get the mentally compartmentalize what they're going through. You know what I mean?
Down for anybody who might not understand that. Usually you got a dresser, you know what I'm saying, chest of drawers. I used to call them chest of drawers. But back in the day, I found that was called a chest of drawers. You know what I'm saying? So at the top, I usually put my socks and drawers at the top. You know what I'm saying? Then up under that, I put my t-shirts, like my undershirts and stuff like that. Then up under there, I go with like my leisurely shorts, and then up under there, like pants that I can fold. But just compartmentalizing that makes us understand, like at the top priority, what I got at the top. Sometimes with our mental understandings, a lot of us might be growing up with let's just say parents, one of the topics, you know what I'm saying? And I grew up in a single parent home. My father was in and out, and I understood that he was usually doing a mission, you know what I mean? And sometimes those relationships that we were that people grew up in, and I'm grown now and I understand that some of the relationships that you have might not be mission based, they just might be emotional based. So with them going through that, understanding that, I get to see him in his light now. He's helping legalize hemp right now in Georgia, which he had already done.
Oh,
so wow. I'm right now helping, as you can see, do hemp here in Alabama, free hemp, you know what I mean? But it's not for smoking. It's bigger than that. I think food and fiber is one of the biggest things. But going back to compartmentalizing, then up under that, I'm an artist. I do music. I make beats. You know what I'm saying? I'm a spoken word artist. You seen me do shows. I seen you do your artistry with your drinks, and you give libations that bring a lot of unity. So I appreciate that. Yeah. But when I do shows like that, it's a way that I can express myself, a way that I can express not what I'm doing, but how I'm doing it. And most of the time, it's just usually all God, one day at a time. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's not a rush with anything. I try to, like I say, one day at a time, because I have a lot going on, and it's like I'm one person, and the community doesn't really understand me just yet. So I don't have help like that yet.
So is it safe to say that you feel like when people see you, immediately they give you a stigma?
Off the rip.
And why is that? Because you have a certain vibe or style, or is it, and I can go on and on because I already have my own ideas about why, how we see our Black men, but you give me some insight on based on what you think.
I think first was the dreads, you know what I'm saying? That's the first thing, because that can give off a stigma. Either I'm trying to be like a Jamaican or I smoke hella weed, you know what I'm saying? It could be one of those two. What a person don't understand is that this might be a part of a person's journey, you know what I'm saying? And this might be something that it was a one day at a time thing. I might be learning patience through this hair journey, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times it's easy to go to the barbershop 3-4 days to keep that fresh cut. How long can we maintain our hair to keep long locks? So it's just a different perspective, you know what I'm saying? But I would have to say that, what was the question again, if you don't mind me asking?
Just as far as how do you feel, where did the stigma come from?
The hair. Thank you for bringing me back on topic. The skin, of course. My direction of where I'm from Alabama, so you already know I'm saying y'all, and I say water when I go to New York. So it's just like different things like that. Another thing would be the way that I what is it called? Not rehabilitate, because I'm not doing that right now. It's recreational for me. The way that I use my recreational time. You know what I mean? Some people may use libations as drinks, but for me right now, it might be cannabis in a certain type of way, whether it may be vaped, infused, or smoked right now until July the 1st, which we need to try to move that back. But hey,
Is that the new bill that's about to pass? What is it? HB 445.
Yeah, I know. I seen the Mayor Wolfen on that.
Yeah, our mayor's behind it.
Yeah, the cannabis on shirt. I was like, what?
So I do have that as one of my talking points, but let me go ahead and address it, because to me, that basically was saying is that we're going to take it out of the hand of the small business owners. We're going to eventually redistribute it by way of big business, because we already know they're not going to take away the actual money that's able to be made from it. And, you know, a part of it is really to say, you know what, we can do it differently this way. It's like, hey, take it out of the mom and pop stores and put it in the Walmart, so to speak. Like I saw in the article, they were like, they're going to be able to put some of those things in the actual grocery stores and just have it regulated, kind of like, I guess, cigarettes or alcohol. But that doesn't sit right with me.
It don't? In a perspective,
absolutely not.
I think in the perspective, because I used to be the same way. I'm like, they taking it away, they doing this, but somebody showed me that sometimes you have to start over, especially when the regulations aren't beneficial for the community. And I know some people. Big shout out to Antoine Mordican. He's been waiting for a long time.
A long time. I was going to bring him up.
So it's just like people like that that's been waiting a long time. I myself have brand back ends that's been waiting on these legalization things to happen so I can push my brand, because I have people that's been pending on white labeling through me because I'm a reputable brand, a face. And I can't even do those moves now. So it's just things that have been stagnant because of these decisions, but it's okay because I understand that if we do get this right here about awareness, I guess they would have just kept passing law after law after law, and everybody would have been. We wouldn't have a conscious community. And Antoine Mordican can only do so much that he can do with his only two hands. And his only two hands, a lot of people still weren't aware about marijuana and cannabis in Alabama. And he's a Chicago native. So
but the problem is that we still see other people and other companies coming in making money off something that we have our Black community still suffering from. It doesn't sit well with me, because I know people who have gone to jail for years
and that's
behind something that's legal, recreational, 2 hours away. That's not okay with me.
I would have to agree with you on that. And from a different perspective, I also say that law that we're talking about right now is really like one of the most it's not really should be considered. It should be something to the side where we should be focused on the most is decriminalization. Because we go back to these stipulations. If a farmer is even growing and he doesn't have the right laws, he can go to prison because there isn't certain decriminalization laws. So I go back to that. Like, that's why I say these things bring awareness to it, but with this awareness, we should bring awareness to decriminalization. When did Mayor Wolfen bring up decriminalization in Birmingham? And when did we find out about house laws of the state that can make you not have those laws that you want for your city? All these things was happening back in 2018, 2016. I've been trying to have a face-to-face meeting with Woodman since then. And the thing is that, like I say, some people, and not even, I'm not saying him because I've ran into him so many times, giving him shirts. We have communication all the time. But as far as a meeting, there still isn't reputable talk right now in the community. And that's why I'm thankful for what you're doing. I'm thankful for where we're at right now. I had an argument with the dude about location almost. I'm like, I'm thinking that we're going to the wrong place. I'm like, we end up here. It's like, it's all positive, like I say. And after this, we're going to Lit on 8th. And before this, we had to talk with about 3 or 4 people. We're doing festivals all throughout. And also in Saturday, we're doing the state capitol. So I don't know if you know about that. But it's a lot of things that's going on. But just one day at a time. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so much, like I say, so much that goes on. And at the end of the day, I'm still a father. You know what I'm saying? I still am a man at the end of the day with mental health. So I have to make sure that that's guarded and protected. So it's all God, you know what I'm saying?
And that's my concern, especially, like I said, when you have people who are fighting a battle that seems so heavy. It's an uphill battle. You're pushing a boulder, literally. And then we have to turn around and think about the people who are suffering at the hands of the same thing that you have others out here making millions of dollars on. That just, again, doesn't sit right in my spirit. So I definitely am putting my support in the right place, because it just is not cool when you got families that are hurting because they miss their loved ones because they were trying to make money, and so to speak. You know, it's more than to it. So when we think about stigma, when I talk about Black men being imprisoned for things such as hemp, THC, marijuana, whatever, because even though hemp is technically not THC, it's technically not marijuana, it's still on the same level. And when we experience racism on some sorts, then we're basically treading the needle. That's where we get all the people that are in prison, right? So my whole point of that was to say that we got to start making, like you said, people aware. we got to start thinking about the stigma overall. What is the thing about our Black men altogether that make us think that they are so dangerous? Or is it that they're dangerous or that they're uneducated? What is let's talk about the stigma that surrounds that.
To society?
Yes.
Of the Black male?
Yes.
What we do to ourselves, what they see us do to ourselves.
What
they see us rap about shooting. We don't rap about shooting white people. We don't rap about shooting Jews. We don't rap about shooting Israelis. We rap about shooting each other. The opposite is usually the other person that's on the other side of the neighborhood that's in another color. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it starts with our expression of arts. Again, the artist expression is big. Whenever we get to talk about building wealth with our music, and whenever we get to talk about generational wealth or just even being a parent in the lyrics and it sounds cool, we'll be going a progressive way. But as long as we're sitting here talking about ways that we can degrade ourselves and about with ourselves, like it's like we really can't worry about what they even think, because we got traumas and stuff we still going through. A lot of these artists that's rapping and stuff that people don't like have not had counseling or therapy the right way, and that's why they so stuck in their ways.
Right. I was gonna say we have a part to play in that though.
Yes.
We have a part to play as consumers.
Yes.
We're consuming it, we're dancing to it. We're not necessarily dancing to the D1s of the world, the people who are speaking positive. We're dancing to the ones that's talking the negative stuff.
Exactly.
I know that a lot of that is organized because you're dealing with what the radio station, not the radio stations, but the actual companies, the actual music companies like the Sonys and the Aristas, those the labels, those are the people who are actually funneling what is being said.
Right.
I know that it was talked about for years that, hey, they'll let you talk about the whole rapping, the whole killing, stealing, drugs, all that, even pedophile stuff, even homosexual stuff.
Yes.
Like you can get as raunchy as you want to, as long as you're selling it to your own people.
Exactly. And that's the reason why I think that they look at us a certain way, is because we're doing this to ourselves most of the time. Why even have to worry about jumping into a fight when they fighting themselves?
So it sounds like it's all systemic, even down to the stigmas that we place on each other.
Exactly. And I think that daily we have to break those stigmas by exploring. And the way that we explore is by widening our gift. Like I'm a firm believer of the word. You feel what I'm saying? I ain't perfect at all by a long shot, but it's like your gift will make room for you. You feel what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of times we don't even focus on the gift to expand to what's going on. A lot of times we try to move away from the next thing to the next thing. A lot of people move to Atlanta and don't expand to Atlanta. A lot of people move to LA and don't expand to LA. Like I'm not trying to move. That's why I'm so rooted where I'm at, because I'm going to expand to them places. My gift gonna make room for me, and this ain't no compartmental thing about a house and 3D sculpture. This earth is the room. So how much can I expand of this earth? You know what I'm saying? But that's just a perspective. And when we do that, then we can meet with other people, because the way that we're going through systematic racism and justice and unequal justice and unequal rights in here, it's way worse in other countries for Black people. And it's still way worse racism and sexism and capitalism and a lot more. So it's like we got to count our blessings, but at the same time, it starts with us expanding. Like this podcast right here on my mama, this is a perfect example.
Absolutely.
Because we could have been talking about this on the porch.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, this is for broadcast.
Absolutely. Because like I said, I do believe 100% that right is right and wrong is wrong. And a lot of times we're leaning in on what's wrong simply because it's what we see. And that's not okay. So when we see someone walking down the street and we've already given them a stigma because they have locks, or maybe I caught a whiff of weed,
or you came to the podcast 20 minutes late.
At the end of the day, am I giving you a stigma? And it's like, oh my God, I'm clutching my pearls, clutching my bag. Like, that's not okay. And white people are not the only ones guilty. Believe it or not, we are almost 10 times more guilty of it as a Black community. And I'll give you an example. So as a Black woman, you go someplace and then you have people that are complaining about Black business, complaining about Black customers. I've seen it both ways. I've seen it where they're complaining about whether or not the store owner is doing right by Black people being too greedy, or we complain about churches. We complain about how much money is being made here or there. It's a stigma when it comes down to ourselves, but we don't do that with other places.
Mhm.
Nobody tells me about how Walmart is greedy. Nobody tells me about how Church of the Highlands is taking money and doing inappropriate things. And I'm not saying that they are, because I'm just using Church of the Highlands as an example because they are a mega church here in our city, and a lot of people can identify. They got multiple campuses and they have a whole lot of money, and they don't hide it. But nobody gives them that same stigma that they would give any other big church here in the city, whether it's The Rock, New Rising Star, hey, TD Jakes, whoever. We give ourselves the biggest stigma a lot, and it bothers me. And I'm always the one that's trying to be like, let's lay down the bias. But the truth is that we get one or two good examples and we run with it. We be like, because so-and-so got caught doing X, Y, Z. Or this business is wrong because they sold me a $25 plate that was horrible. It tastes bad, or it was burnt. Like, we're going to blast those things. And now we're forever hateful toward each other because of the 1-2 bad experiences.
That's perfectly right. That's perfectly right. And I think that the only way, like you say, that we can do this is with things like this. I mean, a lot of times, especially in my reality of growing up and communicating, there's a lot of either overstimulation and a person comes out too aggressive, or there's a level of unfocused because a person has never touched that ground on the subject. So I get a lot of understanding when I see. I'm like, I know that if I'm talking, though, if I'm doing this communication and then I go through, like, just this perfect example right now, you're about to get ready to move, and I don't put the camera on her. You ain't got to put the camera on her, but she's about to get up and move, and the person is telling her to move right now. And he's asking her with his hands, you know what I'm saying? And right now it could have sidetracked me, but thank God it was perfect on the subject. Like, a lot of people don't have a way to communicate through those things, and they shut off, and they don't have resilience to keep going through those things. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I first stepped in, he was asking me to come in, and somebody was like, "No," and I was like, "Oh, it's not." That's why after that, I wasn't moving no more until I see 2 or 3 people tell me come on. But just like communicating wise, I don't like to be an inconvenience because everybody's communicating together, and I know that I'm not gonna be the only one slipping. And when the time comes, I'm gonna still be there, graceful and resilient, and helping everybody else push. But I think that's the biggest thing, is communicating our mindsets, the way that we can express ourselves and give a way of understanding.
Right.
Because everybody's gonna have a time to be on the flow. And if you have your time on the flow and you don't really have the time to express yourself, then you get off and you be like, man, they ain't even feel me when I was thinking about this. Hold up. Didn't you have time to say something?
The thinking about part. You gotta communicate it.
So
Nephew, I want to bring him in before, and we're gonna get back. But I want to bring Nephew in to give me some insight on the topic that we're talking about.
All right, I got you. But real quick, want to make sure that we go through the housekeeping real quick. I know we here and I'm not gonna lie, the topic getting pretty clean. But I do want to remind you guys, this is the Flo Millie Thursday mix version of the Joe Lockett Show. I want you guys to make sure that you do go ahead and pick up your traveling dandies while we at it. All right. Gotta make sure you do all of that, and make sure that you do like, share, and subscribe on the show. If you feel it goes a long way to helping us with the show. But yeah, bro. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Here's my 2 cents. Because I was hearing what you guys was talking about the cannabis thing. Also hearing about the stigma part. Both of those kind of go hand in hand with me.
Right.
And this is where I'm at with it. I fully agree with y'all when you say that folks, especially if we're talking about us as a people, lend to why we kind of stigmatize a certain type of way. Especially when they go towards the music. I'm a big music head. A lot of folks, even in our community, if you don't have some credence of pain, they never relate with it. The crazy part about expressing yourself in music is that if you do come off with a certain type of pain, that usually is whatever systemically that you had placed on you. So since it's whatever you had placed on you, it's kind of like, golly, when folks relate with it, when folks is like, hey, I kind of dig what you're saying, bro. Like, that's me. Whatever you've been going through is exactly what I've been going through. And usually that comes with some type of systemic thing placed on them too. And that be the crazy part. about a whole bunch of the stuff that goes on that you can't really help. We had at least 300 years of being systemically not even viewed as a tenth of a human.
Right.
And then now when you just start to get rights to at least be somewhere equal, now you're separated. So you're not really looked as the same. Absolutely. And then now you get to the platform where you have way more opportunity than you did, but still not enough opportunity for it to be different. Mm-hmm. And when you add the stigma that's already been placed on you, I think that's that's like loading up your taco and you didn't even put the meat on there yet. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Like you got so much packed in already that the real root of the issue can't ever really get addressed.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's the unfair part that we're in right now. But I'm digging what you're saying. Shoot, if we got to chop it down piece by piece, I think chopping it down piece by piece is addressing the differences that we place on each other, whether that be age wise, whether that be sex wise, whether that be mentality or morals. Shoot, the relationships. Like we got so much they just get lumped together and it's so intertwined together that it's like, golly, to pull one out, you're addressing 3 other issues.
That's
so
right.
That'd be my thing on it.
I mean, and that's the truth though. It is so much and it's overloaded. And that's the reason why we got to start one bite at a time. Now, I got my co-host in the building, y'all. Y'all didn't see her slide in, but Big Reese is in the building.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everyone. Big Reese again. I don't know what's going on. I feel like
I'm gonna call you Big Reese every time. Now, just know
that is not true. But my God,
now use
whatever favor this gonna be. Whatever favor this gonna be. I don't know. This gonna be a huge ass favor. I don't know. I look. I can't put that enough on my credit.
You walked into a good one, Coho, because today.
now we go back to the real deal. You feel me? Yeah. All right, now we back. Now we back.
Got to calculate about the government.
Okay. Government name.
Yeah, that government.
Today we talking about breaking the stigma, and it's a multifaceted thing. So it's like we're pulling back on the layers of an onion. Okay, we're talking about stigma of our Black men. We're talking about stigma of what we see. Things that's going on in our society. We know that right now there's a hemp bill that's on the table at the state of Alabama, where our governor Ivy will have to review. And hey, we know that, and from what I understand about this bill is that it's basically taking hemp out of the hands of small business owners, which is right now how it's distributed, and being placed back. It's going to get placed back into
absolutely because it's a moneymaker
stream by big companies.
I mean, it generates a hell of a lot of revenue. Anything that generates revenue or shows potential of that, of course, it's going to be taken over.
But we know small businesses is the backbone of any community.
Are you running for a political office? Because that's what everybody's say. That's
hold on. Now that we know the small business part.
Small business is the backbone I gotta ask, of our community.
Well,
is small business the people on the corner? Is that small business?
That is a small business.
Yeah, that was the first small business.
The license went on the corner.
Hello.
Absolutely.
There you go.
There
you go. There you go.
So, in other words, we're trying to break the stigma because we don't want people seeing people who are using hemp, THC, CBD, whatever they're using, as a bad person, as an addict. Because a lot of times we find that this is something that people are using medicinally. Right,
absolutely.
They may have glaucoma or something. We don't know. We got to give them
which eye you got.
It could. I heard it be in the left eye.
I just had to ask the question. I had to ask the question. Make sure you got your lie right, friend. Go ahead.
But we don't know. They could have glaucoma, or they could have real things like anxiety. Mental
like cataracts.
Cataracts. No, it's mental health awareness. So we are really gonna say that people could be using this to really address their concerns, PTSD, things like that. So with that being the case, we really need to not judge person just because they walk by us and they smell like a little something.
I mean, but then you have to like unpack like where did it come from? You know what I'm saying? Like where did the stigma come from? The roots of it. You know what I mean?
That's a great question.
You ever heard of Reefer Madness before?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've heard of it.
I've not heard of it.
He did a compliment. I said, "Oh shoot! Now wait a minute."
Was that Cheech and
Man.
Chong? I don't know. Where did that come from?
All right, so it was actually it was an informational video to the society, to American society.
Oh,
And it
okay.
was like a movie basically. And the girl, she smoked, and the next thing you know, she got wild and everything like that. It was a black and white movie.
Oh, so that was what they were using to tell people that reefer was bad.
Absolutely.
Got it.
Absolutely. So
Got
the
it,
stigma
got
was
it,
put
got
on that a long time
That
ago.
was the
This way.
stigma.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Got it. Okay. Well,
I'm still on.
down for that video.
He did the compliment. I said, "Oh."
He did the shoulder with it.
Okay. So here's another thing. We're talking about stigma of black men overall because we have this beautiful black man sitting right here next to us.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Do you know him?
Yeah, we seen each other round and about.
Reese, this is him.
Yeah.
Him, this is Reese.
Nice to meet you on the podcast.
I know these two know each
My
other
God.
because they're always at the same event that I'm at where I
Yeah.
met him. So
Yeah.
that was a joke more so. But at the end of the day, we have him here with us today, and I'm super excited because he's sharing a little bit about who he is, his
Mhm.
journey, the things that he stands for.
Mhm.
And when people see a person like this, they may not immediately say, "Oh, this is an educated black man who's got a lot going on.
Mhm.
He cares about his community."
Mhm.
A lot of people are not going to say that.
Mhm.
What would they say him?
Can I say it on the line?
My God.
You N-word, man. Come on, that's what they're gonna say, man. Just
That one
another
over there.
N-word,
They're gonna say
man.
this ninja.
Exactly.
Over
Just another mass karate man. That's what they gonna
Mass
call
karate.
it. For sure. But yeah, I mean that is the stigma for sure. Like, and I mean people help that. I mean, so
Yeah.
it's like I appreciate those people, but that was at the end of the day, it did build a way of resilience because if you think about it, like if we didn't have that stigma, a lot of wins would be easy for black people. Just be honest with you. Like if you really sit down and really logistically sit back and be like, okay, if there was no stigma against this black man, and I understand that we do have to go through hell for sure. I understand that. But this is just my perspective as a black man. Like I think our strength is power as the black man. You know what I'm saying? I think it's white logic, Asian tech, Spanish ethic, you know what I'm saying? But for us, it's power. You know what I'm saying? That's why they try to use us as the face because they know we're gonna be the force for it. So
Okay.
I think that like for black people and like it's the biggest thing with us is just not being manipulated for our power. Once you understand that when you get through those traumas, whatever it is, once you get through the understanding of what the life journey is and what your importance is to the woman, that all these women deserve your love and not your lust, that all these men deserve your leadership and not your dictatorship. It's like that's where we are, you know what I'm saying, as black people, because we are power. That's just my perspective though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree with that. I mean, 110%. But just to add to what you say, I think historically, you know, Mo know this. I'm a history freak when it comes to black history. Our thing is like when we're unified as a people, there's nothing that we can't do.
And can I piggyback on that?
Go ahead.
Blank in numbers. What they say is what in numbers?
Power.
Is
Power in numbers.
Absolutely.
Go ahead. So that's where our resilience lie. And I think that once we start understanding that we have the ability, because history has shown itself, once we get together, we can make our own communities. We can do a lot of things. We don't have to fit in. We
That's
can
right.
make America
We can fit
make
out
it.
very well.
Absolutely.
Very well.
So,
Put us out.
but that's
With
what the
style.
thing is always to keep us divided in some type of way, fashion, or form. Is keep us divided
Absolutely.
by financial gains. Everything you could think of, whatever perspective, we're divided on. We don't have equal ground nowhere.
True.
Nowhere.
And that's the problem. That is the problem for our community, which is why it's so important that we support each other, highlight each other, stay in loop and community with each other, because that's the biggest thing. Like you said, togetherness. We can go fast individually, but we can go far together. So that's something that we have to keep at the forefront. Let's talk about a few more other stigmas that our black men are facing these days, because in case y'all can't tell, I love black men. I love you, black men.
And I love you, black men, too. Just not romantically. But I love you. I really do. Do anything for you other than
romantic stuff.
just keeping it out there. Keeping it real. That was in private, Joe. Dang. Like you just gonna share that all over the internet. Oh, now you want to bring her. You ain't say that with Shut up. Let me shut up. He wasn't saying nothing about that anyway.
Anyway,
but
our black men are out here facing a lot, and that's something that again we need to highlight. so that we can keep that conversation going. Because one of the things that I always talk about is relationships, and I get so sick of us being like against each other. So let's talk a little bit about that. What are some of the stigmas that our Black men get inside relationships? Hemp, I'll let you start.
Ooh. Do we have enough time for all that?
I know,
I
right?
mean, for real.
That's
Right.
another show.
I mean,
I'm
altogether.
gonna ask you next, nephew. I'm so interested in what you got.
That's a very good subject. Like we saying, is it time? Because I'd rather not talk about what they say, but I'd rather talk about what's never said.
Okay.
You feel
Okay,
me?
give me a little of that.
Unpack that.
Preach, preacher.
Yes,
I feel as if we never talk about the Black man in a relationship bearing a lot of mental. I feel like the leadership that a man goes through is not really understood, like what he wants to do as far as a mission. Just me. I'm just talking, and I hope y'all understand that. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I see from many relationships. I feel like relationships usually get so emotional that the mission gets lost, and there's a double side of what is it called when you just settle? What is it called? A level of complacency. So the mission is sacrifice, and also the woman's desire is sacrifice. Because when she usually sees that that's all it is in the man, she knows that it's more out there, which really can just come in developmental stages of people. Like when you develop yourself, it's so much more in that than just trying to find the bus in just the situation. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's for the young folk, my bad. But
Not you.
I think that like
I need a dictionary.
but basically, like it's more than just the sexual desire. I mean, you can get way more in the journey of self-betterment than the sexual desire.
Right.
And
yeah.
I think that the man usually, like I say, the mission, if the woman is there for the mission, then that would maximize both sides. Because there's a level of value when we see that level of commitment.
You know what?
That was a word that he used that we've never really said on this podcast.
What
mission. Like, what's the mission?
What's the mission?
The mission, like, and that's the part of the piece of the puzzle that was missing from our relationship conversations. Like, you going in for a purpose.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be intentional on both sides. So what is that intention? And if y'all don't have this, if y'all not locked in on that, you have nothing.
What are you doing?
Like, what are you really doing?
Wow.
The mission, I'm gonna use that. I might get that tattooed.
What is the mission? So
The mission.
what is the mission, him? Give me an overall idea of what that looks like.
For him, the artist, the complicated man. But supposed to be something like Shav said, man. Come on. Shav said it, no cap. But anyway.
I follow that.
He said, can't nobody understand him but a woman.
Yeah. Come on, now she said that.
Because there was a lot of people he was
on the
dealing
phone.
with, but it was all over the place, man. But from my perspective, for real, is that my mission right now is God's will. First of all, that's first and foremost on my mama. God's
Shout out to God.
You feel what I'm saying? That's it. But if I'm not hearing from him, and you can just see me looking on YouTube, trying to look around, then you know that I ain't got no mission for real. First of all, I'm still searching for myself. But my mission for me is my arts, my music. I got Lemonade. I got BBL waffles. I got the best BBL waffles. Yeah, everybody looked at me square my eyes when I said that because it's that intriguing. That's another brand. That's
I want a BBL waffle.
I coming soon. It'll be here the next
think
month.
I want to partake in a
But
waffle.
anyway, things like this that are brands like I come up with these all day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And God gives me visions all day, and these are brands. You know what I'm saying? I
love
got the
it.
best lemonade in the world. It's on WBRC. The people in the news tasted it. They was like, "This is the best lemonade I had."
No, I love lemonade.
I got the best lemonade.
I followed you on Instagram.
Man, it's up from here.
Definitely bring us some samples.
But
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
tell me about these BBL waffles. Is it gonna give me no gut, big butt?
And does it
You
come with
said
that
it's okay.
scissor?
Okay, we're gonna
No
know
gut,
that big butt.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
And
That
do
might
it
have to
come
be
with
one
the
of the slow-
scissor?
It gotta come with. It gotta come
What
with.
kind of syrup do we got with? I'm just saying.
We're gonna have two types. We're gonna have we're gonna have the Drake, the BBL Drake.
Okay,
Drake
BBL.
from what Drake from again?
Canada.
So we're gonna have that maybe.
Okay. Let's put it together. Let's put it together. Let's put it together.
Canadian
I'm with it.
syrup.
I'm with the smoke. Let's go.
And the other never serve. We just gonna do it elderberry so it can look like the
Elderberry.
scissor.
Oh, so I can
Scissor.
be
But it's an
healthy.
elderberry.
I can be healthy with my
syrup. It's
berries.
healthy. Yeah,
You
yeah.
need
So
that
you gonna have
elderberry mixed with some alaga.
Exactly.
Baby, it's gonna grow
Exactly.
slow as money.
Exactly.
Wait,
Exactly.
this is so sidebar.
So my bad, y'all. But things like this, y'all, like you see how but question though, no cap. Hey, this you hear, yeah, okay, be real, yeah. So basically, incubation. You see how y'all incubating these ideas?
Yes.
Right.
Women like that are valuable. You know what I'm saying? When we talking about relationships, you feel what I'm saying? So
Preaching,
anyway,
boy.
when we move forward to other things like I want to travel. If you know I want to travel, then we got to keep that in mind that hey, this man be throwing around $10, especially if I ask him $10 every now and then. Let me go ahead and just save up off his behalf for this trip, subconsciously on his behalf.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
You
I'm
heard
saying?
that, then you most save up your $10 Apple Pays.
You
For
feel
your
me?
I don't know how to save. I don't know.
But anyway,
but
those are things like.
know
But
what word
anyway,
means.
just levels of consideration when a person suggests things, because we are so busy with ourselves that we blurt out dreams as men.
Yeah.
We blurt out dreams, and all we gotta do is just have a recorder, a person that write it down, be like, man, yeah, and surprise us. And we got a couple days out the year, like a birthday or Christmas, that you just hit us with the thing. We blurted out in July, and you hit us in December. Things like that make a person value their own vision, because now it's someone who values the vision that goes with the mission. So I think that's.
I agree with that, but how does that tie into the relationship part of the mission?
Okay.
So if you have a mama and a daddy and they're trying to build family, and like you said, they have to understand a mission, a similar mission. They have to be on the mission. Now I can, and as I'm speaking it, I'm probably going to answer my own question to say that, everybody's mission is going to look different, but that was going to be my question is, how does that go into a mission of the family?
Okay, so if those businesses are getting incubated by that person, right, and they have a level of language already in business, right, from there, and that's why I'm glad you said that, because that was supposed to be what I wanted to say, but I wanted to say all those things of business so we can come back to this. Family should be business and love is law. So if we already been walking by the law of just love already, and we have a level of understanding and loyalty, and we have incubated these invisible things before these babies, before these babies
before
come,
the babies get there.
hopefully.
Right.
And we incubated and grew these things, and we've seen these things successfully walk away from us, and we sold companies. You know what I'm saying? I think that, but that's just a level of, that's me though. Some people, and I'm sorry to say, some people like plantation ninjas.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Because somebody got to do the work.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
somebody got to be there.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to do it. So it's like you got different types of people who understand, like, okay, I know my understanding of what I'm looking for in a relationship. Like me personally, I'm not really looking for a relationship. That's it for me, but for real, what I really want is business and God, and I see consistency. Because my children get to see it, I get to see them. Because guess what their business is right now? They got to go to school, learn their lesson.
Right.
That's
their job.
You come back home, I get to see your level of intellect when you speak to me, whether it's short or elongated.
Well,
I'll know if you explain more, or if you're short with your language.
There you go. I think that's a different way of looking at everything. Like what we're talking about. So
you know what I'm
different
saying?
perspective.
I mean, and I appreciate.
That's why I was so excited for him.
I appreciate y'all.
He always be
asking me.
like, you be like,
because it's like I'm not perfect, not the least bit. You feel what I'm saying? But I know that God got me a purpose here, and I'm so glad that y'all are here listening to the incubation of what the mission is. Because I think a lot of men sometimes we either get in a relationship before we understand the mission, or we get in the mission and then we find an emotional relationship and not know how to communicate that we're in the middle of a mission.
That's it right there. You don't know how to communicate the mission.
You feel what I'm saying?
And the direction throughout the mission.
Oh my God. And that causes discord.
Absolutely. And I think that also adds to the stigma of Black men ain't ish. Black men don't stay for relationships. Black men ain't good parents or good fathers. They run off soon as the baby comes. And a lot of times it's not because of the responsibility of the household. And now y'all can correct me because I'm in a room full of men and I'm not a man. But I don't believe that it's because of the responsibility that men have. I do believe that it has everything to do with the lack of communication in that partnership. And once that breaks down and that relationship is no longer serving, I do believe that people are tending to just serve themselves. Like, hey, this ain't serving me. I gotta go.
I mean, and I agree with you. And I'm like, for me, now listen to my man over here and what he's saying. He got some thoughts going through my head, talking about or looking at a family or looking at a relationship as a business. You know what I'm saying? Everybody play their part. Everybody has a role. Mm-hmm. And I think that's another part of it, or another piece. Like, okay, the CEO has the mission. They have what is considered to be the mission statement or the values of the company or whatever. They hold that. And then you have somebody else that's doing X, Y, and Z. But everybody understands their role in what you got going on. Mm-hmm. In the relationships, I feel like that sometimes the man, the woman, whatever you want to be, whatever you got, we get those those lines get crossed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To where you saying you got a man with a mission, but you also have this independent woman that's saying, I don't know about that mission. I don't know. That don't sound right to me. I think we know
But
that ain't
could
the
it be that he's
direction I
not
ain't gonna go.
communicating yet.
Even if he can come there with a business plan and lay it out with a presentation.
Baby,
if you
this what
don't
we
like
gonna
it, you
do.
ain't gonna be with it.
Baby, this is what we gonna do.
He
He gonna come. He gonna say, 10 million people eat bananas, so we finna sell bananas.
That nigga ain't got no. That ninja ain't got no mission.
Okay, if he's a ninja, then why
booyah.
we can't sell banana pudding?
But right,
Come on.
he like banana
Flip those
pudding,
bananas. See,
banana
but
bread,
that's somebody who incubated the mission.
banana
They-
tacos.
See, y'all incubating the mission though. See, that's what you see.
You just
that's-
can't throw the man dream away and say we ain't gonna sell no
Incubate.
banana.
You gotta incubate that mission. Hey,
Put some
Man,
banana
you
wafers
hear
on
that?
there and get
you
it.
see how
She
she
gonna
putting
be
on the mission?
like-
We gotta take note on. Hey, find out who incubating your mission. Oh
So
my.
I'm supposed
mama.
to feed my kids off banana sales.
You can get you 2 slices of bread and make you a banana sandwich. Get you
Right.
some pudding, banana pudding. Them
Banana
kids gonna get fed.
Look,
Their
look,
potassium gonna be high as hell,
the-
but they're gonna get fed.
I mean, depending on how geeky you want to get, Donkey Kong got a whole country off of it.
Hey, hey, hey.
There you go. Where we at?
got a whole crib and a 2-story house in the
I'm
tree.
just saying. So if you're gonna play your role, Mo, then you
Yeah.
have to play it with being what the word they call a little submissive.
Submissive.
But to that point though,
Boogity, boogity,
Like, the word submissive. Dun, 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 dun.
no,
You got me. Please, somebody. Oh, wait, put the camera back on me again. Give me that sound. Hold on.
oh my god.
Theatrics. Go ahead.
But,
Okay, so submissive can seem like a scary word. What you was gonna say that you?
no, I was just gonna say even to that point, because I think that point about the roles is really important,
Yeah.
and we kind of still glossing over it because it's real easy to say, oh, she just don't like the way he going with the direction.
Yeah.
It could be she might not even like the way that you have to place roles.
Mm.
Because
Oh,
even in a sense, like
my gosh.
if we really going about the CEO or the business type of
Mhm.
terminology,
Yeah.
there is a lot of folks that won't get all the information, and you have to be cool with that.
Mhm.
You feel me?
Right.
You are not privy to all the information because
Right.
for one,
Come
your
on in.
position don't even allow you to handle it.
Come on.
You know what I mean?
in.
And if you don't like where you're positioned because you think you're close with the CEO, and that's where we get the messy stuff. Shout out to Fox. That's when you got
Yeah.
folks going in trying to get with the execs,
Right.
but they can only get with the execs for what their position allows.
Mm.
You still have to play the role. Just because you know the buddy that's in a higher position don't mean you're always going to be placed there.
Right.
You got to go through the transition still.
Right.
Now that might influence how fast you do it,
Yeah.
but you still are going through those transitions, and all of those only privy to so much information. And I think when you're dealing with business or you're treating your relationship on a business mindset, that's where it can get muddy because your girl or your dude, you know what I mean, whichever way you want to go with it,
Uh-huh.
they're going to think that they are going to think that they're privy to the business or to the information first. They're going to think that.
Yeah.
Just because
That's
they know
how I
you,
would feel. That's exactly how I would feel.
and they
Oh, is
might
it
be
really?
entry level.
Absolutely.
So
I'm not entry level, damn it.
No,
Anybody said
you
you
might
got no
be entry
broom?
level.
Anybody said you got no broom?
Like you,
But
You got on
no,
my bucket.
as the partnership, as the head of the household, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna be like, we are partners. We need to run everything by each other. So
Negative.
if you have an idea that you want to start, you want to build $1 billion business selling
Negative.
bananas, then make me understand.
Not
Help me
yet.
get it, because I want to be the biggest banana selling supporting
No.
Nikki Picky. You,
I am not.
All right, but
I am not.
I can't do that if I
I'm
don't
not gonna
have,
do that
if I have
initially.
limited information.
Hey, that takes a level of communication then.
There
It
you
does.
go. Communicate.
But
it do, but
Go ahead.
I can't always communicate how I'm finna get us the bananas.
Because some of that is a fake move. Some of that is a fake move.
Some of that is a fake move. Some of that may not even be information that's so important to
that
you to know. Because
Could it be
how I
illegal?
accumulate the banana farm might be coming through some means we probably
Right.
shouldn't really be talking about.
That's what I'm talking about.
So why are we having this conversation?
Yeah,
and
Just so you can be nosy as hell to find out what you got to
So
say.
And during that
support it
transition.
with my whole heart.
No, but
That's not supported with your whole heart because you got the information.
you gotta have a level of faith because even if I'm paying your way through school, I gotta have faith that you're gonna pass.
Hey, and I'm not gonna lie. That's real. That's real. That's real.
Now see, I can go and appreciate that.
That's real. And to understand from that too, like their perspective, the CEO sometimes I found out is that like when the president gets sworn in, you know what I'm saying, they get told information that none of us would probably ever know. You know what I mean?
True that.
And so it's like when you do go to certain levels, or when you are in certain levels, it is information that only you have to withhold because it's for the benefit of the rest of the people. Like some people don't need to know a lot of things are going down because they'll panic.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I understand that perspective, but I understand the way that you can communicate it in a way that brings peace to the supportive partner, though.
I'm just that person though. I ain't gonna lie. I'm always the person that's like, I need to know. I'm a need to know.
And that's what I'm saying because I know you. Because I know you. But I'm like, what happened to the word trust? Trust me, I'm gonna get these bananas. I just need you to trust in me. I'm gonna get them. The end result is the end result. No matter how I
might gotta sell some apples and some grapes.
Exactly.
But we finna get some bananas.
The bananas gonna be there. So if I told you the mission is the bananas, using your word mission, no matter how I gotta get to the bananas, I'm gonna get to them. You just sit tight and have the vanilla wafers. Vanilla wafers ready to go. Crumble them up for this banana pudding.
Okay.
But you won't know everything else doesn't really serve any purpose. And now you own me about some stuff that I'm trying to get done, but you up here nagging on this.
No, it's not about nagging. It's about communication.
No, it's nagging.
That was the biggest thing that Hemp was saying was that we have to communicate better. Now, I understand what y'all are saying. When you say, hey, some things can't be communicated, some things just you're gonna have to just go with it.
Because and I don't want to preface it like you don't need to say anything. I don't want to preface it like
right.
That's
true.
You do need to, because if we're looking at it past a business mindset, that's what I'm functioning off of. We're looking past the business mindset. Yes, you do need to let your partner know what's up.
Right.
Yeah.
But this the other part to that. Male and female, however it is that we gotta function in a business set, are going to understand and interpret it completely different on most things. Not saying that we can't come to a common ground. Not saying we can't even disagree to agree or agree to disagree. My main thing is if we're functioning as if our relationship is like a business, that's where I was like, and I said earlier, that's where it gets muddy. Because if we functioning like that, we have to also understand when there are things that you probably don't have to know. Yeah. And you have to have the faith that they're going to handle their business because they got you.
But if you're
that comes with the faith.
If you're a president that then ran several businesses into the ground,
you still chose me.
And I don't see any proof that you are going to be successful.
At that point, when you saw I ran the business to the ground and we functioning like a business, you still chose that outcome to pick.
It sounds like putting that foundation on some sand. It sounds like we started standing.
Can I give my receipt and take that?
No, but what I
want to take it back.
Said that he said need a refund, bring him back. Get your
take
receipt
it back.
Take them back to the streets. Okay. I'm sorry here.
You gonna drop them off in the corner?
Yes.
Take them back.
Take wherever you got them from. Take them back. I'm just saying.
I
need a refund. Bring them back.
So basically, what I'm getting the understanding of, I really want a collective understanding because it sounds like a really good truth that people need to hear, is that the information can be given to that supportive person in a way like the let's just say the weather, what is called the meteorologist on the news. Birmingham, partly sunny, high 85, low 60. He didn't say an address. He didn't say on 1222 12th Avenue Court. You know what I'm saying? He gave a general, and I think that a lot of times when we talk, we do become too short because we don't know how to generally speak as men sometimes when we need to give information to women.
That's what I'm looking for.
And that's what I'm learning right now, y'all. So I hope y'all getting this sauce as much as I am, because I'm going to be saucier when I leave here, because I know that now. So when you give a general span of what's going on, that gives understanding to the person that is supportive. So usually you don't have to say those small things that made you mad as that man, because you know what made you mad. Hold that, bro. Give the general escape. Talk about the way that it was up and down. I went through some stuff, but I got through that stuff. Don't talk about that one person, because she gonna opt with that one person when she hear about that one person. She gonna hear opt means you're gonna be an opt. You're gonna be a
facts. I got you.
So
she ain't gonna like
right. So she ain't gonna like that person because of that small detail in the story. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you could just give an overspan of, man, my day was going rough, but I made it through. I'm here with you.
Right.
Shoot. That gives
but
more.
Isn't that just kind of pulling the blanket over it? You're not really giving much.
That's a good. I mean, that's a good.
I mean, it could be. It could be. Didn't mean cut you off, brother.
No,
but
you right.
My thing is that you give information on how you believe it's going to be received. So if you go in, like we can be having a conversation, I know that if I tell you X, Y, and Z, I'm gonna have a long ass night. Okay.
Yes.
So why am I setting myself up for this foolery?
Preach.
Because I already know what's going to happen. Now, if you were more receptive to the information that I'm giving, then okay, of course. And now we can have that open and transparent conversation that I want to have, because now I feel I don't have any judgment.
And I was just about to say that I think that us as those people, as the strong one, we gauge those topics sometimes. We might gauge with those little I guess you could say topics. When we talk about that one little thing and the way that you take it, and we be like, oh, they didn't take that well, or it was so much that, like you say, it's a level of shut off. And over time, that does become a total shut off if it's negative, or it becomes a total opening up over time. And that's another thing to understand as people that in relationships, that want to get in relationship. Like, there should be none of that discord right there. Like, if you ain't opening up out that second, third conversation, like there's no judgmental, no scales.
I ain't gotta hear all that yakking.
That jump be making you, man. A man gonna probably, all right, you want my social? I give my social right quick too.
Okay, so
but that's what. But just before you go any further, that's what I was talking about with the positions. Yeah, that's what I was talking about with. She may not like the position you have to put her in for y'all to function like a functioning business or relationship. You feel me? You already showed me when you did your interview. For the interview question, this is how you answered it. So now I know I gotta place you here until you show me that you can handle more. Until you go through and you earn some other execs' favor. That might be mama in the fam. That might be the kid. That might be something that is important to let me know that you can be trusted with more than I can allow you now.
Wow, it sounds
Are you
like
getting it, friend?
I do, but I don't like it. I get it.
Sound like corporate family.
I don't like it at all. Basically, what you're saying is that, again, I don't see you for who you like, what I really want to see you for. I'm having to put you, like you said, in a different position until you can earn the right to have more. It's more of a just leave me alone altogether.
But y'all do it with us. It's like that, vice versa.
That's
vice versa.
Reed, are we running relationships like a business? Is that something that you experience and that you see often?
Since you're gonna put me out there, yes. Now, while I like to run it like a business, absolutely. What I do for a 9 to 5, yeah, absolutely.
So did you start your significant other out on an entry level?
Oh, you are messy as hey.
Yeah,
I did. Yeah. I saw potential in the person that had the mop bucket. I said,
don't let her set you up, Reese.
I can went from associate to what? To the team lead.
She is messy as hell for no apparent reason at all.
Manager, supervisor.
You know what I'm saying?
Now they're the manager.
Her way up, like, you know what I mean?
Let's ask the manager.
She ain't gonna get me in trouble. I'm not gonna get in trouble. What I will say to you, got dog on it. You know what I'm saying? She had me almost on that bridge. Now it was almost there. I was almost there. But I'm timing that out. But again, ma'am, to the point, if I'm going to tell you all this information, like the CEO, and okay, you got a CEO, the CFO, and the COO. Everybody play their part. The CEO is the face, pretty much, of the business. Okay,
Mhm.
that's the business.
Mhm.
The CFO handle all the money.
Mm.
The COO is operations.
Yeah.
The CFO and the COO don't know. They don't have the same expertise. Because one is operations. The CFO don't give a dang about no operations. They give a dang about the bottom line.
Mm.
And everybody report back to the CEO. Okay. So at the end of the day, everybody don't need to be in the same room unless they have one agenda that allows every single person to bring their expertise to the table.
The mission.
Sound like R. Kelly over there.
That is a badass reference. That is a really bad reference.
Yeah.
What I heard was let me
That's a bad
play
reference.
back to what I heard. What I heard was that everybody needs a team. Everybody don't need to be in the same room. And you don't tell everybody everything.
That's what you heard out of that whole conversation.
That's wild.
Like
though.
you're
And see, that's what I'm saying. Wait a minute.
Wow.
Wait a minute.
Everybody needs a team. Go team.
But again, no, but you say go team.
Go
Golly.
team.
But real talk, if we was in a relationship and I'm already getting beat up by the outside world, I come in already defeated sometimes. Why in the hell am I gonna come home and have to listen to you defeat me even more because you feel like I ain't taking care of business? I need for you to lift me up. I need for you to be my backbone when I'm weak for just half a second until I get my life together. But some women don't know how to. They don't know how to do that. They
So
don't-
that's where your partner has to be a part of the mission.
absolutely. You want me to
Otherwise,
give you a
gonna have to
rundown of
tag
my day,
in.
so you want me to exhaust myself, but having to relive a day that you could be like, they were right. What the hell?
I know that's.
But what I'm learning,
What you do that for?
I feel you on that. Go
what I'm
ahead.
learning too is though both domains have a hosting. You know what I'm saying? All right, so the house, right, is a domain. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm finding out is that like if you are in a relationship and y'all just so happen to be living together, y'all in their stage that y'all are living together, the one that's in the house should be the one that's hosting and should bring that peace. Like we were just saying, the person that's going out into the world is coming back from a world that don't give a F for real. You know what I'm saying? You coming back to this crib, man, and you think it's just smelling like trash, or it's just smelling like, you know what I'm saying, or it's just anything irrelevant to the like peace that you're trying to attain. You come back as nagging. You come back as, you know what I'm saying?
I need a pen to write that down. We got mission, we got
It's
peace.
like, so
we
it's
got
just
all
like
kinds.
to understand like the value of that, but also on the polar end, because I don't want to make it seem like it's all the women's job, because it's not. The earth, you know what I'm saying, is supposed to be a place that the man is supposed to go and have dominion over and subdue. That means that by the time that y'all are deep in your relationship, you should be able to do some world travels and show her the world. Or she should at least go to a place and have favor because you've already warmed the whole world up with your presence as a man in this place. You know what I'm saying? And they know who you are as an upstanding individual. I think that those things bring value to a relationship, because a woman loves a crown. She loves a tiara.
That's right.
And you telling me, brother, that just the reputation of who she is in the city, that does wonders when she go in Walmart and folks know who she is.
That's right.
You feel me? So it's just like,
I mean, the amen committee has showed up. Yes, the ushers are in the building.
And then look at me, I'm over here like, yes, that's exactly right.
And then you gonna rep your man because you feel some kind of way. You feel special.
and that goes into another level of the company and corporation. With the largest corporations do is ambassadorship. When you got somebody who's with the business, the corporation, and she going out there repping the brand,
they become an ambassador.
An ambassador. They repping the brand.
I love it.
That's big,
spot on, y'all. When you think about relationships in this aspect, and you think about both people being on the same team, understanding the mission, not needing all of the different players on the bench, so to speak, because you got everything you need in this one person, and now they're the biggest ambassador for who you are and what y'all stand for, because it's not just one person.
Exactly, y'all stand for y'all. You all. Well, and that's the thing, because we base our relationships on what we see on TV, internet now, because nobody watch TV for real no more.
That's true.
And other folks' experience, instead of looking within and internally seeing what y'all got that's so special, what ties y'all together, to have that be your foundation to build on.
Generally, it's the unified mission.
Yes.
Unified
mission,
and for you to be each other's peace. And people don't know what that means these days.
No, they don't.
Not a piece of something.
Oh my Lord, you did it.
So is that why they're out here seeking the crew? They seeking the team, the lineup, the what is it called? The bench.
Hell yeah.
My God.
Shoot.
Put some highlights.
I know that's why I'm in the field, putting that work in. You feel me? Going get
You
my
need a
jump shots
roster.
every time. You feel me?
I mean, you
my
just don't have
10,000 hours of training. You know
You just
what I
doing this
mean?
number, the flick of the wrist.
Oh yeah, you know what I mean.
Flick of the
Kobe and that. Hit it.
Ooh.
And I ain't even a Lakers fan. You feel me?
Now,
Look,
let me ask this question. What is this drink right here? I gotta ask this because I'm kind of starting to feel it. What is this? I missed
So,
the
you
missed
guys-
the lineup. What is this? What's this?
Since my co-host got here a little bit late, you guys, she
Ew.
did not hear the mix of the day. So
Ew.
yes, today is Thursday. Y'all know it's the Thursday mix. So today's mix is called the Traveler Dandy.
The
And it
Traveler
is-
Dandy.
Yes, it is an ode to our guest here, who is Hemp the Artist. And if you guys have not checked out his social media, his IG, please go and do that right
Facts.
now.
Yeah.
Facts.
Right now.
Yeah.
Tell him where to go.
Yeah, go to hemp HEMP.THE.ARTIST. We just did a photo shoot. Like,
Yes,
shout
so
it out.
let's get into the
Hey,
photo shoot
hey,
for just
oh,
a second
shoot.
because some of y'all may not have seen it, but oh my God, this man did a photo shoot. And I talked about dandyism. I talked about the reason why this drink is even the theme for us today because we know the Met Gala just happened.
Oh, yeah,
And
absolutely,
dandy,
absolutely.
the dandyism was the theme of it. So we saw a lot of looks that were curated around that. But this gentleman also did a photo shoot and it was all about dandyism. And the topic, the title was Traveler Dandy. So that's the drink. And it is made
Okay.
with tequila. It is
Oh,
also made
man, it's
with
gonna
a
be a
little
long
bit of
night.
tequila, a little bit of orange juice, a little bit of lime,
got that
a
little
little bit of
TT
simple
in 'em.
syrup. And we are supposed to have a fresh mint in here, but I left the fresh mint. at
It's
home.
all good. This
So-
boy slapping. I love it.
She know how I act when I get a little tequila in me.
Tequila is the one that make you do either one of the two.
I do all of
But
it.
I want you guys to go
The
check
love of
out
the
this
fight.
man's IG because he did a
Hey.
phenomenal photo shoot and it looks amazing. And I was just talking about it before you got here. So once again, kudos to you on that. It looks
Thank you.
amazing.
Thank you.
drink.
All got
Good
that.
drink.
Do you want to share a little bit about where that theme came from and the insight behind it?
Yeah, I've been talking with Tony Hawk. Appreciate Tony Hawk Studios. for
Shout
even
out to
shouting-
Tony Hawk.
'cause,
That's-
that
hold on,
was it.
that's a flex.
Yeah,
I ain't
for
gonna
sure.
lie to you.
For sure. So you know, so
Yes.
we basically we've been talking about collaborating for a while. I'm always usually doing, like I say, music and photography myself, and he's always doing photography and fashion himself. He's always designing new pieces, and he was like, "Man, what's your size?" And he did my sizing, so I appreciate him for even giving me the sizing for the next bucket hat line we do because he did my
Awesome.
full
Okay,
sizing. You know what I'm
okay.
saying? So it was just like I know my panel, my ankle, my waist, my head.
And you a
7 meters,
tall
25.
brother, so
Yeah,
that's
6'4", so I need those dimensions. As you can see, my arms always end up short. So
yeah.
coming into the next level of fashion and getting things custom made, it was helping. So he was like, "Man, I need to do a shoot with you," and it was perfect timing because he was like, the Met Gala is coming up next. I'm like, perfect, bro. I've been wanting to do a Met Gala shoot anyway because I want to be on the Met Gala floor
One
one day.
day.
Exactly, doing something
There
for
we go.
Birmingham and Bessemer, putting it on the map,
Okay.
but not doing nothing crazy. Doing
Damn,
something
huh?
on- for sure,
Berman
for sure,
Messer.
for sure, yeah, Berman Nelson. So it's just the collaboration came. We found a abandoned street that had a bunch of properties that nobody bought. I think it was a developing properties. Nobody bought the properties, so it just became a green space with a
Man.
developed street. So it looks weird when you see the photo shoot because you're like, why is it a street so developed, but nothing's on the side of the road? And also that might be a vision for us to put some properties over there because I know we need
Facts. Let's go.
compounds and
Come
stuff.
on,
Let's
come
We
go.
on.
need these
Speak
places.
it.
Like, I know we need these places. But anyway, the shoot came out perfect. The police pulled up while we was doing the shoot. He was like, "What y'all doing? Y'all throwing some stuff away?" I was like, "Nah, we finna do a
Oh,
photo
yeah.
shoot." So he seen that speaker. I brought my speaker with me, but it's a speaker I did from a 1930 suitcase. That was one of the main.
I saw it over
inspirations
there.
from
That's
it.
hot.
So
That's hot.
I used the bump box I had got on Facebook Marketplace. The dude said it didn't work. It was like $40. I bought it from him, took it home, opened it up. It worked when I put it together. All guys. So I was like, man, I looked at the 1930s suitcase and like, I'm gonna put it in there. Did a video for it, kind of went viral. And he's saying, he like, we got to incorporate that suitcase.
That's
That's
dope.
what's up.
So that was
That's
like a
what's
focal
up.
piece as well. And that shoot came out just phenomenal, man. And a lot of
Oh,
people
man.
are hitting us up about it. So
I love
Love
it.
creativity, baby. I
Yes,
love it.
and that's
For
what I
sure.
was gonna
Love
say.
it.
It's all expression.
yeah.
It's all expression. When we think about our Black men and the things that we are talking about today, it's expression. They need to be able to express themselves in whether it's style, fashion, artistic endeavors, whatever that is.
That's it.
Also, just relationships. Also, in who they are, just period. Because every man is not attached to something. You know, if he's not an artist or if he's not a married man or whoever, if he's just a regular Joe walking down the street, then who is he? am I immediately giving him an identity based on his color, based on his name, based on his statue? What is that? What does that look like?
But I think we have to remember who we are.
Oh, okay, Mufasa, man.
We have to remember who we
You gotta
are.
remember.
I mean, the word
Yeah.
let's talk about it. Let's talk
faith.
about real facts. Like for real. We have built multi-million-dollar business out of doing what on the corner.
Come on, man.
You see what I'm saying? And we didn't have
Brown.
that structured already. We didn't have people in place that took care of this, took care of that. We had what is considered to be a corporation.
G money.
Come on,
Okay.
man. Come on.
We are the
man.
ones who came up with the word "rig." If you
Come on,
catch my
man.
drift,
Come on.
Yeah.
Ninjas, all my ninjas out there.
we're gonna make something work no matter
Yeah,
what. You
yeah.
did. So we already have that mentality. We already have that mindset. We're the most creative beings there are on the planet.
Mhm.
Once we start believing in ourselves and owning that, there ain't nothing we can do. But see, we put ourselves down here because we start believing the foolery that has been put out for years and
Yeah.
generations and decades that we're this, we're that. We start believing that
and cloning it in expression.
and cloning an expression. I know some dudes in jail. Hell, they make more than I do.
They make good money, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they already
for
locked
real,
up.
for real, up like 100K, like in
They in
jail.
there willing and dealing.
And then because you make a way out of no way, we already have done that
We've
time and
always
time
done
and
that.
time
Corporate
again.
thugging. We've been
The
corporate
Southern cuisine came from whom? We were slaves.
Us.
Yeah.
They gave us the
Scraps.
scraps, and we now shut up,
Cuisine.
Shalice.
And then they wanted to eat our food.
Hello, help me
Come
somebody.
on now.
So now that's what I'm saying to you. It's just like we have to be reminded. We have to continue to tell ourselves who we are, not just on Black History Month, but every goddamn on man. And I'm gonna get off my soapbox.
You in there though. You
I
on there.
love that.
Oh,
though.
my waves are popping.
But
Yeah.
but you're right though, and that's exactly why we're talking about this, because again, I love my Black men, and I know that mental health is a big thing, and this is Mental Health Awareness Month, so it's a big thing amongst our community, but it's a big thing amongst our Black men. And I have a 21-year-old son, and I tell you guys this. I am constantly working with him about developing who he is and being mentally sound while he's doing it. I'm a faith-built person. I'm very tuned in to who my God is and who my Jesus Christ is, my Lord and Savior. And so I do believe that when it comes down to knowing who you are and being solid, I think that you got to have faith.
Absolutely.
You got to have that substance. And so
Absolutely.
I teach my son all the time that, hey, once you have those hard days, when you have those days, you got to know where to go.
I
right?
know to go and know that you're built in His image.
Absolutely. You got
Because we are the people. Who,
And we
I don't
are the
care what nobody says,
people.
We are. that.
absolutely.
It is in
and
there.
That is so
Dig.
important.
So that's again going back to your roots, going back to what you know, and that's the reason why you can see they're taking it out of schools, they're taking it out of our day-to-day lives. Majority of our people right now, these YNs here, don't even know who some of our great leaders were that made the ultimate sacrifice because they want to take us away from what grounded us in the first place.
Right.
You feel me? So he's a king.
Yeah.
Everybody ain't kings and queens. We have to remember where we came from, where we are, who we are.
But that's a struggle. That's a struggle for our Black men. And I know that systemically, if you allow your mind to be broken, then the rest is just going to follow. So at the end of the day, it's so important that you remain mentally sound, whether it's by religion or by artistic expression, or whatever your thing is. At the end of the day, we have to start making sure that we don't just immediately judge and put our men under that stigma. I honestly believe that we would be a better society if we just looked at things a little bit different.
Absolutely. I'm ready for that day because I know it's coming. I think that we have more people now that's getting back. Man, I wish I was born in the 70s. I ain't even gonna lie. I want to wear a dashiki with an afro and all that. Because you know it was like that Black Power type of situation.
You can do it 10 times better today. They got
let's
they
go.
got Shea Moisture out here. They're gonna have your afro busting 10 times better than any.
Man, I remember one
the
time
dashikis now they doing them in hemp. They got the hemp dashiki, hemp shiki.
with some oil.
So does that make your body relax?
Now hemp actually okay. See this is what I'm
Look,
learning.
she all in it.
This is what I'm
Hey,
learning.
she gonna get one off
Tell me
Amazon
more,
right
tell me
now.
more.
This is my last little 2 cents about it. Like hemp fibers, y'all really have to look into it because a lot of the fibers that we put on our body are not the right fibers that we need on our bodies for 8 to 12 to 20 hours a day.
Ooh.
When you think about it
Yes.
like that, because the
And
largest
some of these
organ on
niggas
your
be sleeping in their clothes. So.
the largest organ on your body is your skin. You feel what I'm saying? It's porous. And a lot of times we put in the I found out about the polyester. I mean, I still be wearing polyester. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm not perfect at all. But when I talk about cotton and hemp, cotton first. But if you want to go a grade above that, a big grade above cotton, hemp.
If you throw a shirt out in the pool that's cotton, and you throw a shirt out in the pool that's hemp, that cotton is going to saturate that pool and it's going to sink down in about a minute. That hemp going to stay up another 2 minutes before it starts saturating. So when you think about when you wick the things that you sweating out, the impurities and stuff like that, a lot of times we have a lot of stuff in a lot of oils in our clothes over time. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these detergents aren't the real detergent that we need for real. So it's just a whole nother puzzle that we got to figure out about that too. But the information that we have is that hemp is one of the best fibers for cleaning and for not upholding the wrong material, the wrong I guess you could say chemicals in it. Like a lot of the sweats and stuff, it doesn't hold those oils. You know what I'm saying? So what I learned about hemp, it's like Food and Fiber. One of my first albums that I dropped was called Food and Fiber. And I just wanted like, there was like Hemp the artist, Food and Fiber. People like, why you name it Food and Fiber? And then come to find out, hemp, the two greatest things of it isn't smoking and taking it as an edible. It's food and fiber. The hemp seed, when you crack it open and you get that hemp heart out, it has omega-3, 6, and possible 9 in it. And it also has enough protein that you can use it as instead of meats if you want to.
Wow.
So this is such a protein-rich thing that we have.
It is. And I'll say, because Joe Lockett, Mr. LIM himself, he showed me his recipe for one of his smoothies that he uses. And one of the ingredients was the hemp hearts. So I run out to the store and I buy all the stuff that's on his little picture he sent me. And I'm like, okay, now what am I doing with this stuff? And I still have this huge bag of hemp hearts sitting in my kitchen. And I'm like, okay, what can I do with it?
Can
I add it to
so
my
hemp
soup?
Party? It's so good for you that you can drizzle it on everything.
Can I get them like sunflower
seeds? Sneak it on your salad. I sneak it in my oatmeal. I sneak it in my salad. I'm in my smoothies. I can sneak it in my spaghetti, like on my top of my spaghetti, put that on it, and then put the Parmesan on top of it. It's so sneaky as far as a beneficial thing.
Okay, kids would have never known.
You would never, and that's another restaurant. Y'all be on the lookout next year probably for Food Me.
Okay.
But that's gonna be like, we trying to do plant-based everything. The first thing you want to do is like the beans. Like, use so many ways that you can fool people with the bean, with the legume. And how good it is. Like, you can have.
I love beans.
So it's just like learning about these beans. Like, but it all started with a bean pie. I'm not gonna hold you. I went and did my research after I had a bean pie from Chicago, from the Muslim side to the Muslims.
They was on the corner.
Man, that bean pie, I was like, man, hold on, y'all doing this with a bean?
I've never partaken into a bean pie.
Bean pie and a newspaper, and you missed out on the best blessing of your life.
If you get the Chicago recipe bean pie, it's actually better than some of those sweet potato pies.
Anybody from Chicago,
I know it sounds weird. I know it sounds weird, but
you gotta show up in the soup.
It's a Chicago, and you gotta have a Chicago
if you bring
recipe.
Me a bean pie, you gotta show up in the soup, because otherwise I can't trust you.
Chicago, it gotta be from Chicago.
They gotta be in the soup from Chicago.
In the soup from Chicago.
Like, if anybody from Chicago that's watching, give me a bean. No,
for real.
Send me a bean pie. For real. Who got somebody in the comments got bean pie?
Nah. My buddy Z.
Z, what you say?
He said, bro, gonna have everybody feeling like Wiz Khalifa.
I'm a firm believer that we have natural resources that we can do better with. Hey, and they don't always, you know how when they pour liquor into the banana Fosters and cooks out the liquor. Same thing. If you put the hemp on your body, it's gonna, weed out the high.
Hey, no pun intended. Weed out the high. That was fire.
Weed out the high. That need to be a damn bumper sticker. Somebody write that down.
Yeah, that gotta be something.
That gotta be something.
That's very
Weed out the high.
Weed out the high.
Mm-hmm.
Well, y'all, I'm just saying, we have had a great conversation today. I want everybody to keep the conversation going. It is Mental Health Awareness Month. But specifically, I want us to think about our Black men. I really want us to highlight the things that our Black men are experiencing, the things that they could be experiencing differently, because ultimately, again, we need each other. Black men need Black women and vice versa. So as we allow these times to change, and we know that our Black men have to be the head of our homes and our forefronts and our first line of defense, because it's a lot of things that's on the verge of going down and we don't know, but we need to really be supportive overall. So for those that are in relationships, think about that when it comes to your Black man, or if those of us who want to be in relationships, think about that submissive word and what that it's gonna look like.
She can't just say it all the way. She just got that submissive word. That's submissive word. We'll paste that.
I can't even fix mine out. No. I do believe in a submissive to a certain extent. Because again, you don't want to be submissive to somebody that's gonna run you into a brick wall, do you? Y'all like, well, you might as well just take the wall because that's who you chose.
If y'all love is real, follow that
I'm
man.
not running into the wall with him.
Have you
because
ever
I thought
seen
he
the
was
preacher's
cute,
wife?
damn
Have you
it.
ever seen that? Come on now.
See that, but you gonna want him to run into the wall for you.
That part.
I want him to stop me from running into the wall. I want him to deter the whole situation, like the
No,
leader is
you want him to
supposed do.
sacrifice his body and run. I got you, baby.
You,
No.
yeah, she on the other side of the wall. He placing the wall in front of him.
Turn
I got
the
you, baby.
whole car before I hit the wall. Reach over here and grab the damn wheel. Do whatever you gotta do to stop us from running into a wall. Period. Okay. But I was saying, get on my soapbox. But all I'm saying is that when it comes down to supporting our black men, ladies, let's do it.
That was good.
Let's do it.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, I do want to give him a few more moments to highlight again who he is, where you can find him, and some of the work that he does. So if you would give us that information and then leave us with a little piece.
Hey man, hey Z, hold on.
I was gonna say, but Digo went in. I was gonna say that.
Bro.
I thought we was in
You
it,
can
but
troll me, but man, you can't troll Mo, man.
in
You
it.
can't troll
you
Mo.
don't see
Man.
what he said.
She ain't no pretty red. You talking about? He said you pretty, but you a pretty red flag.
A bunch of
Ain't
red
no
flags.
pretty
Like,
red
boom, 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 boom,
flag,
boom. Like 5 red flags in a row. Like he counting them out on her. That's a red flag. That's a red flag.
Nah. But no, man, everybody,
she
like
pretty,
I
though.
said, everybody, and that's real. That's real. And
Man.
my name Hemp the Artist. You can find me on all platforms. HEMPTHEARTIST. Just put out a song today called "Way Too Real."
All right.
It seems like that's what life has been doing here lately. It's just been way too real.
I hear that.
Yeah, so it's been going on one day at a time. I'm doing a campaign right now called Free Hemp, FREEHEMP, and I think that the slogan is gonna be called "Weed Out the High." Like we need to get rid of, we need to get the stigma of getting high out of the hemp space and the cannabis space.
I love that.
Because people ain't getting stoned out of their mind and coming to places and being unfunctional. That is not what's going
That's
on in the
not
Big
what's happening.
25.
No.
You know what I'm saying? At all.
facts.
Like for real, that is a stigma. Like
Right.
people need to come and see the renewal of mind, what's going on, like for real. But anyway, music, Lemonade, I'm starting to make some. I got some new batches ready. So be on the lookout for that. If you just Google Lemonade, you'll see the newscast and everything like that. Next week, we should be having our first event in Avondale where we will be
Okay. Come on,
debuting the BBL waffle.
I'm okay. Waffles on deck.
Debuting
No
the-
good.
Boy.
It's on deck.
And we will also probably have
Boy,
like,
let me
that
mess
makeup-
around and find a waffle, boy.
That
With a
makeup-
BBL on it.
BBL waffle. And for the kids, if you want to talk about those waffles to the kids, don't worry about it, y'all. We're gonna have Pop It waffles for the kids. So the same thing that looks like a BBL waffle for us grown folks is gonna be a Pop It waffle, and we'll be doing multiple.
My kid don't know about that.
What? You can trust me, they're gonna be on. They're gonna be
So
on
fun
it.
now.
When they see that waffle, that you send a kid on a BBL waffle. The kids now they know what a BBL waffle. They was singing BBL Drizzle.
Sure
They know what a
They
BBL
was
is,
singing,
man.
they was singing BBL Drizzle last year.
Some of these kids' mama got a BBL. It's all good.
Wow.
They know
Yeah.
exactly what it is. They be like, "Yo, put it in my
Yeah. They knew why mama was gone for a good little minute and then she came back.
That part.
She was gone for about 3 days.
Uh-huh.
Mama's on vacation.
Yeah, that's wild.
Right.
And other than that, I think that's it. Appreciate y'all for appreciate
No doubt,
LIM
no
for
doubt.
Mo for inviting me, LIM for hosting us. What was your name?
Big
Reese.
Reese.
Big
You ain't got to call me
Reese.
no Big Reese. Like,
Reese.
Big Reese.
Man, it's just Reese. Something she.
Just a little
The
couple
big,
Reese.
not the little one.
Little couple-
Mhm.
Yeah, just a little couple Reese. And
Yeah, look, come out like that.
Little couple Reese.
You know what I'm saying?
He ain't seen his ass yet, so he ain't probably ain't gonna
Hey.
The big one, not the little one.
Okay, my bad. So it's a big Reese cup. Okay.
be. Facts. Big
Hey,
Reese
just-
cup. I got it.
Okay. Big Reese cup. Appreciate nephew and just the
Mr.
real,
Joe Lockett.
just the Joe Lockett.
Mr. Joe Lockett is in the audience.
The administrator
Yeah.
of the-
Talent.
A couple
Appreciate
Joe.
everybody, man. Like,
He's being
Hey.
silent, just watching over everything.
But before we head out, you mind gracing us with a quick spoken word before we head out, man?
Oh yeah, that'd be lovely.
Give him a taste
I like
of what.
that.
Yeah,
Give him a taste of the hemp real quick.
Please.
Drop a little
Hemp.
hemp on it real
I'm
quick.
honored, man. I'm honored. See, I'ma love my neighbors like I love myself. People ask me why I show love like that. The only reason I love is because I care. See, you just sowing seeds when you're hating on me, but remember those seeds gonna grow into weeds, taking all the nutrients from the roots of your trees. Now your harvest gonna come just occasionally. See, change up your style if that sounds like you. Put away that little child and become brand new. That means love, love, love. That's found in Matthew on the 39th verse of the chapter 22. The enemy must lose, so I'm giving information. I can't do it, but my God can heal the nation. Love on everybody. It don't matter if they crazy. You shall reap the harvest, but you gotta be patient. If somebody want to hate, remember, love thy neighbor. You ain't gotta be fake. Just love thy neighbor. Don't try to resist because it's the way that God made you in your DNA nature. Just love thy neighbor.
Okay. Okay. All
That's one of
right.
my favorites, y'all. So thanks again. Shout out to him, the artist. Again, if you have not checked out this man's IG, go and find it right now immediately. And definitely come back to see us. It's gonna be next Thursday, baby. Every Thursday here on the LIM. It is the Thursday mix. You have Mojo and Big Reese. See you guys next Thursday. Peace.
Peace.